With Remitly, I can send money abroad.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Airports Live TV with me, Adam James. We are with you until around 3 o'clock today. Fingers crossed this rain does stay away, because if it comes, we will be dashing. We're not going to get this new equipment absolutely sodden on the first proper live. Hope you're all having a fantastic and blessed Friday so far. It is coming towards the end of the working week for a lot of you and the end of the week at school, so I hope you're all doing well. We are on departures today over on the North Runway. Going to get some of the bigger aircraft this afternoon. We've got the Emirates due for departure probably around 20 past 2 if it's on time. Do have a lot of the Transatlantic flights here as well. I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been supporting us towards this new equipment. It's been a huge expense for us, but it's something that we had no choice but to do. So thank you once again to everybody. Here is that first departure of today's live. As always, we are brought to you in proud partnership with Booking.com, travel supermarket on the beach holidays, and of course our exclusive travel club partner UTC. If you are interested and you're thinking of booking any travel this year, do check our travel club out. We had test bookings of over 3,000 bookings with an average saving of 27%. Highest saving just over 40%, lowest saving being 7%. So do check it out. You can either do it through our own website, airportslivetv.com, or directly to the travel club itself, ultimatetravelclub.com/airports-live-tv. Make sure you use either the direct link or the link from the website, and then use the code ALTV59 and you will get a 12-month membership for just £59. It will save you a fortune, not just on hotels, travel insurance, airport parking, transfers, dining out, loads of amazing benefits with the travel club. Plus it does give you exclusive access to our community getaway taking place the 28th of September over to Benalmádena in the Malaga province of Spain. We're staying in the 4-star Benalmar, also known as the Palladium. It's an absolutely stunning hotel, recently refurbished, amazing rooms, the best sky lounge in the Costa del Sol. So amazing views from there. Got some great excursions planned as well. We're doing a 3 or 4 night option, so do check it out. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on. We've got this Ryanair Boeing 737 on departure now. And there she is, she's up and away. I'm going to be coming to that chat any second. Now that she's gone, we do have probably a minute before our next departure. It looks like an Airbus A320 possibly. Let me just quickly change phones for everything. And then we will have chat. Here we go, this A320 heading over to Bilbao, operated by Aer Lingus. It's a 14-year-old aircraft, first registered in February of 2009. In that right hand bank nice and early to avoid as many complaints as possible from the residents under the end of this north runway. We've got departures stacking up now. I still feel like this bank that we stand on has dropped slightly since we first started streaming. I think it's the subsidence has kicked in a little bit, because I feel like we used to be slightly above that fence and we are no longer there. How are we doing, Sparky Eyes? No, the weather's not great. How are we doing, Ken? Laters, welcome, buddy. Laters, good luck for tomorrow as well, my man. Everyone on the brakes are calling to smash that like button. Thank you, David. Hope you're well. Here we go, we've got this Swiss on departure. Again, beginning and banking a right hand turn nice and early, quite steep bank as well there today from that Swiss crew. Don't forget, guys, we are away from Wednesday of next week. Our next departure is going to be RYR 66GB, heading over to Biarritz. This Boeing 737 MAX operated by Ryanair. 3 years old, first registered December of 2019. Bring a ladder. You see, the problem is with a ladder, I can't move around my tripod. How are we doing, Kelly Fowler? Dashcam Jerry, welcome. Charles Condren, how are we doing? You could be getting shorter. No, it is definitely the bank just dropping a little bit. We have had a lot of rain, like it's quite soft land around the airport. I don't know how many of you have walked on any of the grass surrounding the airport, but it is quite soft. And there she is, she's up and away. If somebody can just let me know in the chat, is the picture quality and sound quality okay today? Obviously this is the first time in this location with the new equipment. So we haven't done any testing for here. Next up, we've got an A320 with my favourite Aer Lingus livery, the 2019 livery, heading over to Manchester. Now, guys, I say this on every live, but how smart, how modern does this A320 look? Make no mistake, this aircraft was first registered in December. Not last year, not the year before, but 22 years ago. This is approaching 23 years old, this aircraft. Look how much cleaner, how much fresher, how much more modern it looks than the old half and half livery that is on board some of the A320s and indeed A330s operated by Aer Lingus. Like I say, this one heading over to Manchester. Be a nice short flight over to Manchester this afternoon. By the time they're up, they've been round, had their customary drink. Be time for that seatbelt sign to be back on, ready for touching down in Manchester. got to admit, I am looking forward to getting some sun from Wednesday, well probably Thursday, because I think it's an evening flight, I can't remember. But I am looking forward to being over in Spain and getting some sun. What have we got? No cows today, unfortunately. We are in the cow spot and we have no cows. Seems okay, yes, it's fine, spot on. You turn into an Irish leprechaun. Can't see the planes with the fence. Sparky eyes, what can I do? I can't take a fence down. If I'm on 28, I've got trees in the way. What am I supposed to do, Sparky eyes? Thank you, Dashcam. There it is pinned. Do get following us on Twitter. We do need to grow that, but we've got something exciting coming up for it. But I'm not saying what it is. I'm not even giving you a clue. You're gonna have to follow us on Twitter and find out, because it could drop at any time. Let's have a quick look at air traffic control, shall we? See if we can see any activity. Just whilst we wait for our next departure. That is the negative to being around here on the North Runway. We don't really have a lot to focus on other than the aircraft, and when we've got a little bit of a gap between departures, it does get a little bit stale around here. There's my lucky charms. Rent a cherry picker, yes. You know, if I was going to be staying in Ireland permanently for this, I probably would have gone out and bought one of the, you know, like an old ESB vehicle, you know, with the cherry picker attached on the back. I'd have probably gone out and got something like that, but the issue you have is you've got to park it somewhere as well when you're here. However, that being said, we are going to be based in the Canaries for the winter this year. Home base being Lanzarote, we will travel around the Canaries. It just gives us better access. It gives us easy, quick, cheap access to mainland Spain as well, so we can pick up some of the big aircraft in northern Spain. I'm not getting at your sparky eyes. How we doing, Jay Marsh? Picture and audio superb. Thank you, David Palfreyman. Yeah, Sparky Eyes, it's one of those jobs that I think anybody who's passionate about aviation, in the back of their mind, would love to do, because it seems so interesting. But the pressure that they are under, the stress that they must be under, especially, like, you know, when you're just having one of those days at work and everything's going wrong for you. In most jobs, it just slows you down a little bit, or it's just a bit of a headache, but it is really frustrating at the time. Imagine when things are going wrong and they're beyond your control as an ATC. Like, it must be so stressful. They do a great job. They're under a lot of pressure up there, especially being as short-staffed as they are. But they are doing a great job. I will give an airport update as well on Wednesday, because I drove through the terminal. I didn't even actually drive through it. I was going round. I was going to have a drive through when I was going to the garage, but it was a gridlock trying to get up to the terminal for the set down point. I don't know if it was purely people, you know how people park at Dublin sometimes, they park there for an hour while they're waiting for somebody. Don't know if it's a case of that or if they are starting to experience slight delays within the airport again. I will give an update on that. Hopefully this year is a lot smoother than last year, because last year was an absolute disgrace at Dublin. So hopefully they don't encounter the issues that they did last year. It's strange because we're still seeing the same job adverts being placed for multiple roles within the airport, still on the same salary range that they were offering last year. Now last year, the reasoning behind it, the excuse behind the issues was that they couldn't recruit staff, and people were saying it was because of the low wages or not reasonable wages. It still seems to be the same salary banding from what I've seen in publicly available job adverts. So it will be interesting to see how they manage this summer, because how have they recruited this year on that money with the cost of living gone up even more than it was this time last year? How have they recruited on the same wages? We're going to have to wait and see about this as to whether that was the true reason or not. A big up dash cam. Thank you so much. Get more green on your donation bar. Has it updated? Oh. Somebody tell me, are we buffering here? I did check the network and the connection isn't great at this side of the airport still. Can somebody tell me, are we buffering, or is it my other phone that's buffering? We now have, what do we have? 99. Over 100 euros, about 140 euros to add to that tally. It hasn't updated, but we will update it. Yeah, the boot-in sparky eyes. I'll show you the boot-in a minute. Let's come away from ATC. The boot-in is somewhere there. I think that is it there. It's definitely either that or next door. No, that's not it, it's the house. It's just behind there somewhere. It's on this road. I've never been to it, I'll be honest. When they were first talking about opening this new runway, it was going to be one of my spots. And I'm not sure why, but I always just got the impression that it wasn't that welcoming. But I've never been in the place, so I don't know why I got that impression. Dashcam Jerry, thank you so much for the support. Have a great day at work. I'm sure we'll catch you at some point soon. Glad you well, Kelly. Kazzy B, how we doing? Byjet joining us from Moldova. Sarah O'Kane, welcome. Yeah, like I say, I've never been in there. I don't know. There's a beer garden outside, which you will see. I'm trying to work out. That will have just taxied straight past the beer garden, so you're gonna get some quite good quite good close-up views of taxi to and from the North Runway. I don't know how good a view you'll have of departure because they're rotating directly in front of us today, almost directly in front of us. I don't think you're going to get a view of that. Maybe I'll try it. I might go and have a look there one afternoon, maybe when Laters is off work. We might go down and have a look and have a beer. Next up, it looks like we've got an Airbus A320 operated by BA heading over to London Heathrow today. It's heading for a pint. Yeah, I mean, look, if you could get a half decent shot from there, it might possibly be worth having a chat with them, seeing if there's any chance we could even build like a little bit of a raised decking and do our streams from there. Maybe do a bit of a deal with them. We'll have to have a chat, see what the shot is first. Here we go, this A320 now heading over to London Heathrow. It's a 12-year-old aircraft, first registered in 2011. BAW 835W, now on departure along runway 28R here. Is it 28R? I can't remember what runway we're on. The north runway. And there she is, she's up. Gone. Let's get ready for our next departure. She's lined up already. It's an A321neo, this time heading over to Toronto. It's an Air Transat. Approaching 3 years old now. It'll be 3 years old next month. First registered in June of 2020. Just go now. Takes a lot of setting up. Here we go. Next Sunday is Kelly's birthday. Happy birthday for next Sunday, Kelly. There she is, heading over to Toronto. It's A321neo, operated by Air Transat. I like the livery on these Air Transat, that tail. It's almost got a, I don't know, is it a graffiti feel to it, a tattoo feel? I'm not sure, but it's a little bit different and I like it. And there she is, she's gone. Still not a fan of the 321neos operating long haul though. I just, like I say, it just doesn't give the feel for me, the iconic feel of long haul travel, but that's just me. I get why they do it. Here we go, an Airbus A320, this time again operated by Aer Lingus. It's heading over to Lyon. Now interestingly, this aircraft is 18 years old. Any of you that were on for the last A320 we saw with the 2019 livery that was 22 years old. See if you can remember what that looked like, compare it to this one, tell me which one you think gives the airline the best almost visual reputation, because to me this looks old. There you go, she's up, and away. Got another A321neo, this time operated by Aer Lingus, EIN10M, the flight number. She's heading over to New York. It's a 2-year-old aircraft, first registered in March of 2021. The new equipment is looking good to me. I've done some nice camera work. And next Monday, 29th, is Sparky Eye's birthday. 3 weeks off for cigarettes. Graham Leggett, how are we doing? Welcome. Tech Gritty Farms, press 1 to vote for an immediate recce to the boot in. I'm gonna have to plug my phone in. Here we go, this 321neo now on departure along the north runway here at Dublin International, heading over to New York. Would you be happy flying on an A321neo Transatlantic, or would you prefer a more iconic aircraft, maybe even an A330, an A350, a 787 Dreamliner? What would you prefer to be flying on? Now, I believe the seating configuration on these 321neos with Aer Lingus in particular is a 3 and 3 configuration, which is the same as you get when you fly over to Spain, France, Germany. That for me just doesn't give me the same feel. I liked the old twin aisle aircraft. That to me was transatlantic. That being said, still lucky people heading over to New York. And next up, we've got another Airbus A320, this time heading over to London Heathrow. It's a 14-year-old aircraft registered in February of 2009, sorry. Yes, 100%. Here she goes. She's up. Oh, she's gone and done one from Dublin. Not sure what the weather's like in Lyon today. She's not going to Lyon, is she? She's going to London Heathrow. The last flight went to Lyon. My head's all over the place. Next up, a 737 MAX, this time heading over to Copenhagen, operated by Norwegian. NSZ7CB, the flight number. I'm gonna have to get the charger out of the car for the phone in a sec. Saving €60 a week. It's a big saving. Norwegian livery. because we're so used to seeing it with the special liveries with like famous people on the tail, that tail just looks bare. Almost looks like half the livery's been, they've forgotten to add half of the livery. And next up we have that familiar blue of the Royal Dutch Airline KLM. Heading over to the dam, it's an Embraer E190. Here she goes. You know, she's up and away. I forgot to turn all the drag off. Right, let me quickly grab my charger. Let's quickly pick up this Coast Guard helicopter. Dublin, of course, is the home base for this Coast Guard chopper. Very familiar sight around Dublin. Don't forget to hit that like button if you are enjoying today's stream, please guys. We are struggling massively for views right now. Another A320, this time heading over to Nantes, operated by Aer Lingus again, 18 years old, first registered in July of 2004. Possibly Val. And the Santana, welcome. Sparky eyes as light the stream. I don't know what is happening at the moment. We just don't seem to be able to trigger that algorithm again. We had so many difficulties over the last few weeks. We've lost all momentum. We need to get it back somehow. Possibly it was a mistake coming to the north runway. I wanted to be able to get some of the heavy departures though. Possibly that is a mistake. It looks like we've got a Delta on taxi. But I do understand, like when there isn't anything actually departing, it's a very difficult shot to try and keep it looking interesting. Thought was landing the pub car park. I think it was due to connection issues. It could have been. Thank you, Kelly Fowler. We do indeed have a Delta Boeing 767 heading along the taxiway now, heading towards the north runway. She's heading over to Boston. We'll pick her up quite soon. This A320 now on the move. There she is, she's up and away. She did take a bit too long for us to get a nice shot of the Delta though. Our next departure is going to be an ATR 72-600 series heading over to Glasgow, operated by Aer Lingus Regional. It's a 9-year-old aircraft registered in July of 2013, so approaching 10 years old. Here she goes. What a nice busy taxiway. EIN 4RW next up, heading over to Santiago. It's an Airbus A320 operated by Aer Lingus, an 18-year-old aircraft registered in April of 2005. Yeah, the evening streams do tend to be better for us. The issue we have with the evening streams at the moment is we seem to be stuck on runway 28, the main runway, and our shot is massively obstructed there. 10R is obviously my preferred location for evening streaming. Yeah, Sparky Eye's a ladder, but the problem is I can't get a shot with a ladder. It's different. For photographers, it's different. When you've got to try and move around a tripod, you can't do it on a ladder. I don't think there is a way to send invites. No, well, you can share it through WhatsApp and stuff, but not in the same way that you can on the other platforms. Debs, how are we doing? How are we doing, Jeff? I do actually think one of the issues we've got today is the shot. Just holding here while we have a chopper crossing the runway. I'll see what I can do, Debs. Oh, we've got a United on taxi, we'll just pick it up. There we go, with Santiago flight now on the move. She's up and away. Next up, this Boeing 737 operated by Ryanair, heading over to Birmingham. How are we doing, John Driscoll? Welcome. Waiting for Shane's cake to be delivered. The emotional train is gearing up. Here we go. Sun just starting to break through these clouds. It's nice when the sun's on you, but it is a little bit nippy without it. It is Debs. Hola. ¿Qué tal? And next up, we're heading over to Manchester with this Boeing 737 operated by Ryanair. I'm actually tempted to restart the live because these numbers are shocking. Here we go, the first of the bigger girls for today. This Boeing 767 operated by Delta, about to begin its journey over to Boston. No, Liam, I've got meetings this afternoon, so unfortunately, why can't I stay? Here we go. Beautiful Boeing 767 there. Next up, the A320 operated by Aer Lingus heading over to London Heathrow. Thank you, Tomatime. You wouldn't have thought so with these views, Debs. Look, we just need a change of scenery, I think. Like, we were growing so quickly, we were constantly hitting good views, and then everything that could possibly go against us went against us. If it wasn't the weather, it was the god-awful network connectivity around the airport. It's just, I don't know, it's just really impacted us in a big way. Like, I don't think people realised at the time just what I meant about the damage it was going to cause with all the issues we were having. Then obviously we've got the fact that we can't get good, clear shots anywhere because of the way everything's got overgrown and locations being put off limits to everybody. It's had a huge impact. Here we go, next up, we've got a Boeing 757. We've just had the 767, we've now got the baby sister. This time heading over to New York. Planes behind the wire. Exactly, Debs. Here she goes. The ironic thing is, I'm not even going to say it. Next up, an A330 here heading over to Toronto, operated by Aer Lingus. Thank you, Time you on to, I don't know, laters. I was planning to go through till 3 o'clock. It's unlikely I'm going to do that. Here we go. Can somebody tell me, it looks like I'm dropping, like, I'm not dropping frames, but it looks like we're buffering a little bit, but that could just be that the video on my phone. Somebody just tell me, are we stable? God. Okay. Yeah, the thing I was going to say when I said it's a bit ironic is I firmly stand by and believe that we are the friendliest live aviation community on YouTube, from both our end as broadcasters through to our community. I believe we are the friendliest, most laid-back community of live aviation on YouTube. Yeah, I don't understand what else we can do now. Like, we will continue, we'll keep pushing, but I don't understand what else we can possibly do to change. Like, you go in other lives and people get muted or blocked simply for daring to mention, oh, did you see what happened on so and so? But yet they go back time and time again, even after being treated in that way. You get communities, or I call them communities, they're not actually communities because everything is hidden behind a membership paywall, whether that be comments, whether it be the actual streams, and yet people still go back. They're treated badly and still go back. I don't get it. And then you have communities like ours, and there are some others like Andrew from Strains Media. Don't hide anything behind paywalls. Happy to interact about other communities, because let's face it, we're all aviation lovers and we should be able to chat about what we see across YouTube. And we just drop out of algorithms constantly. I really don't know. There's a little buffering. It's only now and again, most of the clear smooth stream. Yeah, the network, when I tested it before we came on, the network here wasn't perfect, far from it, but it seemed stable enough to be able to give it a bash. Next up, we're heading over to Amsterdam with Aer Lingus with this A320. And don't get me wrong, an element of today, that there'll be two major issues today. One of them is the fact that people who are just coming on for the first ever time are seeing a shot that, when there isn't physically an aircraft rotating in front of us, is a massively obstructed view because of the fence. Once they're rotating, it's a good shot. It's probably one of the better shots around the airport once they are up. And then the other The other issue, and we've always experienced it on YouTube, is afternoon streams we do tend to struggle with. But usually this sort of time we'd be sat 130 viewers ish. We're not even at half of that. I know it sounds like I'm whinging, but like, it's frustrating. You're putting the effort in and you just, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. We'll pick up this American, we'll miss the next departure so that we can pick up this American Airlines. It's a 787 8 Series Dreamliner. She's going to be heading over to the home of the Fresh Prince. Heading to Philly. You'll be here around the 4th of July. I don't know, July's too far in advance for me to say, because we'll be backwards and forwards between here, Spain, and all over the place. We'll quickly pick up this ATR. Next up, we've got this A330 heading over to San Fran. I think we sort of resolved the issues, Michael. We've definitely resolved the hardware issues. The laptop just got destroyed from getting wet so many times and getting, not even getting wet, just getting damp. So we've replaced that. We've replaced our encoder. We've replaced video capture. We've replaced everything yesterday. So we think with our network we're using the best possible thing we can find. Starlink isn't the answer. I've done a lot of research into Starlink and I've spoken to some highly experienced teams regarding Starlink, and it's just not the answer to us. The latency just won't work, unfortunately, because it is one thing that will give us, it'll give us network, and for download it would be amazing, but for the upload the latency just won't work. What was the bang shooting birds? They're trying to scare the birds off. Now interestingly, this runway has actually been maintained. Well, I say the runway, all the runways are maintained well, but the grass areas surrounding the runway are maintained. They have actually been cut. But let's bear in mind, this isn't an official viewing spot for the North Runway. I still don't understand why. Me and Laters were only talking about this at the weekend. When you're sat down at 28 now, the main runway in the official parking area, if you're sat in your car, all you can actually see of an aircraft in front of you when it's waiting for departure or on taxi is the top of the tail. That is all you can see now, because they've let the grass grow that long. Not sure why. Can only assume it's to try and almost discourage enthusiasts. It's my opinion on it. I have actually reached out to Dublin Airport Authority for a statement and to try and get some answers to some questions, not from me, but from the wider enthusiast community surrounding Dublin. As expected, no response as of yet. Some of the questions we put to them were, what is their response to the enthusiast community feeling that they're not welcome, that they're not wanted around Dublin? One of the other questions was, do the airport authority believe they could do more to engage with the enthusiast and spotting community? We will await, see if we get answers. We'll try again in a couple of weeks if we don't get an answer. But I think that is something that DAA should respond to, because it is a general consensus amongst young spotters, young enthusiasts, right through to the people that have been coming here for 30 years. Everybody getting the same impression at the moment that the DAA, Dublin Airport Authority, just don't want enthusiasts, don't want spotters to engage in a passion that is ingrained in so many people. Like, let's be real, the aviation industry surrounding Dublin to a lot of people goes back several generations in a family, and they just feel like they're being driven away. And we don't see it at other airports. We don't see it at Shannon engage with spotters. They love the spotters being there. So it's something that we just need to keep chipping away at and keep trying to get answers. It would be nice if they would just come out and say either, well look, for whatever X, Y and Z reasons, we don't want to be actively encouraging enthusiasts, or come back and say, you know what, yeah we do, maybe it's a misconception that the community has for X, Y and Z reasons, but it's operational reasons. At least come back and give us your standpoint. The grass is part of No Mow May, possibly. But the thing is, it hasn't grown from the level it was at last year to, and I mean throughout the summer last year, hasn't grown from that level, what, a couple of inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches, to almost shoulder height throughout May. Here we go, this 787 Dreamliner now heading over to Philadelphia. And there she is, she's up and away. How are we doing, Val? Next up we've got this A320 heading over to Charles de Gaulle. See you later, Michael Kelly. Yeah, Thomas time. this is the frustrating thing for the community in general, I think, because there just is no communication between DAA and between the enthusiast community, and that is the sad thing. There just isn't the communication there, and it's something that should be there. Like, I agree. Look, I've been the first person to publicly condemn the guy with the drone. I was saying it before he was caught, and I will continue to say it until his punishment has been dealt out and completed. I don't believe he's going to get the punishment that he deserves. I don't believe he'll spend a single day in prison, and he should do. He's endangered lives. If you were running around setting fire to houses, not knowing whether it was going to kill somebody or not, it would be arson, or whatever the term is in Ireland, and endangering people's lives. Flying a drone over an airport, whether you accept it or not, or see it as over-egging the seriousness, it does play with people's lives. Whether you accept that it puts lives at risk, or whether you look at it from the other point of view, that it plays with people's lives in terms of delaying, cancelling their holiday plans, costing them business deals because they can't get to meetings, costing people jobs because they can't travel for interviews. It has affected so many people's lives, and ultimately that person should have been made an example of. If that had been, and don't jump at me for the place I'm going to say, if that had been a 19-year-old lad from Ballymun, or from Tala, or from any of the inner city places, if it had been a 19-year-old kid, they would have been dealt with by now. They would have been made an example of, and they would have been sent to prison for a while. Might not have been years, but they would have served some prison time for it, no doubt about it. But because this is a guy that is in his 40s or 50s, nothing has been done, and there's been no deterrent. He's been put on bail until his next court appearance, and that's wrong. He continued to do it even after it had been all over the press about the fact that it was illegal. The first time he did it, you know what, if he can plead he's got an IQ of 6 and didn't realise that flying a drone over restricted airspace was wrong. He can plead that the first time, but it had that much media publicity and it was in the spotlight. He can't argue the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, but he didn't know he was doing something wrong. He should have had his summer taken away from him whilst he was waiting for his court case, and that is exactly what would have happened if it had been a younger person from an inner city area, a more deprived area. I don't even know where the guy's from, but the point I'm making is it would have set a stronger example if they had used him, because at the end of the day he was doing it for malicious purposes. He wanted a golf partner. Now I don't know how true it is. There is a rumour that he is linked somehow to the complaints regarding the new runway, and it was done to disrupt the activities of this runway. Regardless of whether it was done to disrupt that or to endanger lives, ultimately the fact remains that he endangers lives. It's like us saying, look, we can shine laser pens at the Garda helicopter, because 99 times out of 100 it won't cause any significant issue. We can't do that because it's dangerous. Flying a drone in restricted airspace is dangerous. It's a restricted airspace for a reason. Like, you think that the biggest risk to an aircraft traditionally has been a bird strike, because of the amount of damage a bird causes when there's a bird strike. A bird is much softer than a drone. So the amount of damage, the amount of risk that is caused by a drone surpasses that of a bird strike. And like I say, there just hasn't been enough done about it. But back to the original point, if that is the issue, and that's why they're sort of putting this standpoint out there, the unofficial stance at the moment, that they don't really want the spotting community, the enthusiast community around Dublin anymore. That is only a justifiable reason since those drone incidents. And those drone incidents haven't been here for the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This has been an ongoing thing where enthusiasts haven't felt wanted. But again, I don't think we will ever get a response. I don't think any of them will ever come and just say, look, this is the reason, this is our standpoint. I don't think we're going to get that. I think the only people who will get that is the people who appear to be the only people they want to interact with. And that isn't mainstream media across the board. That is RTE. The only people they are interested in interacting with is RTE, it appears. Look at the fiasco when Joe Biden was coming. RTE miraculously knew exactly which runway he was coming on 20 minutes in advance. Sky got told a minute before he touched down which runway he was coming in on. You've got them both on site, but yet you're telling one over the other. It doesn't make any sense. It's from Swords, a Sparky Eye said. There we go, this is a 50-year-old man. A 50-year-old man that I'm sure feels that he's got the mental capacity to be able to go to the pub, or to be able to travel, or to be able to leave the house unaccompanied. I'm sure he believes he's got the mental capacity for that and the IQ for that. But he hasn't got the mental capacity or the IQ to understand and realise that flying a drone over restricted airspace, over an airport, is dangerous. He hasn't got the mental capacity, the intelligence, the IQ to realise that after multiple news reports that no doubt he was watching and giggling away to himself about, after his first incident doing it, his second incident doing it, his third incident doing it, he hasn't got the intelligence to understand, well, hang about, what I'm doing is wrong and they've said it's against the law. But yet he carries on. But I'm sorry, but if you can't understand after some multiple places telling you time and time again, without using your name because they didn't know who you were at the time, but if you haven't got that mental capacity, then you probably shouldn't be leaving the house by yourself. Yeah, he's been charged and he has been told not to fly drones. But he was told not to fly drones before he was charged and before he was named. He knew who the news reports were about because he knew it was him doing it. My argument is he disrupted thousands of people's travels, whether they were delayed by 5 minutes because of it or missed family weddings, missed business appointments, missed interviews, missed medical appointments, whatever it is. He interfered with the travel of thousands of people. My argument to that is he should have been made an example of and he should have spent the summer, instead of being bailed while he awaits his court appearance, he should have been remanded into custody for the summer, disrupt his summer. But no, he's a 50-year-old male from Swords so he doesn't have the same interaction from the courts as a 19-year-old or 20-year-old or 17-year-old or 22-year-old from Ballymun, Tala, Crumlin, Dreamliner. Doesn't have the same interaction and same experience of the courts and the justice system. It's wrong. In terms of the Spanish authorities, they tend to be okay as long as you're not disrupting anything and you're considerate of your surroundings. They tend to be okay. Like Lanzarote, never ever had an issue. Lanzarote is a great little spot as well because you do get a good view there. I guess we'll see, won't we, next week? Because as we know, things do change year on year, season on season around Europe, especially in Spain, with their attitudes towards things. I don't know if you know, if a lot of you realise some of the actually crazy laws that there are in Spain. For example, in Benidorm, it's actually illegal to not wear a t-shirt or not wear a top unless you're on the beach or around the pool. So not wearing a top in public is actually illegal. However, it is never enforced because they apply a little bit of common sense to it, I guess. But I suppose it's actually quite a good thing, because if you've got you know how we all see when we're on holiday, we see that group are walking around with no shirts on, they've had 2 beers and all of a sudden they've become Rambo. It's weird, because when you then put the shirts back on, they sort of calm down. It sort of takes their ego away from down another level, do you know? So it sort of gives, like, the Policia Nacional, the Guardia Civil, sort of gives them the option of saying, look, it is against the law, get your shirts back on, lads. Outside court with balaclava. Do you know what he reminds me of? And I don't know if possibly this is where he's got it from. He reminds me of what you see on YouTube and not so much on TikTok now, but you used to, with the so-called auditors in the UK that literally used to walk around poking cameras in security's faces, police's faces, and trying to get a reaction and then putting it all over as if they were hard done by. Because all of them, they know the public photography laws, which is you can film anything you can see from a public space, and that is an important thing that we need in society. We need the right to be able to film anything we can see from a public space. Photography isn't a crime. I completely support that movement. However, they all wear face coverings and, well, hang about, you're poking a camera in somebody's face when they're just trying to do their job. Whether you're pro-police, anti-police or indifferent, pro-security, anti-security or indifferent, they are only doing their job at the end of the day. And you deliberately going up to them, poking a camera in their face, is just provoking them. But it's interesting that they never want their face shown. How are we doing, creative buddy? I have a drone but never fly it over an airport. Exactly. Drones are a great piece of equipment. I haven't got one. But they're a great piece of equipment. You can get some really, really good footage using a drone. But I guess it's like anything. There's a lot of things that are amazing pieces of equipment. And great for hobbies, great for professions, whatever, but you just don't use them in certain places. You don't use them at airports. It's like, right, look, again, some people will support it, some people won't. But it's like hunting. A rifle or a shotgun is great for hunting, great for getting hares and stuff. I don't know what gun you'd use for getting hares and stuff. And there's hares at an airport. But you wouldn't start shooting a gun at an airport, would you? Because it would be suicide. You'd get shot by the armed police and stuff, and you're putting people's lives at risk. A drone is the same. Yeah, that's true, Val. You're not allowed to. That's been a rule for quite a long time that you're not allowed to smoke on beaches. Again, it's an unpoliced rule. However, it's there. Right. The rule on smoking in Spain is actually bigger. It's actually wider than that. It's the reason about the beaches is because it comes under another rule, and that rule is smoking in a public space. And the reason behind it is partly because of what we sadly saw last week, or was it beginning of this week, in Benidorm with the fires. It's such a dry country in the summer that the slightest thing can trigger what turns into being a catastrophe. Like, one of the biggest fines that you'll get when you're driving in Spain, in terms of financial penalty, isn't speeding, isn't drink driving, isn't driving without a seatbelt. It is actually dropping a cigarette out the window, because it can cause so much damage. And it's something that we don't necessarily think of from the UK, from Ireland, because we're quite wet countries. It takes a lot to set a huge fire. But that's one of the rules. One of the other rules in Spain that it's strange, because one year you see it being heavily policed, another year you don't see it being policed, is driving in flip-flops. Driving in flip-flops is actually its own offence in Spain. I know in the UK it would come under possibly reckless driving or dangerous driving if you were involved in an accident and it was proven that it was because your flip-flop got caught or whatever. But it is actually a standalone offence in Spain to drive in flip-flops. Interesting things that every country has different rules on things. I saw a comment there about somebody flying a drone in the UK. Did they get prison time? I genuinely don't know. I think it was from Liam, no? I genuinely don't know. The thing is, they need to start making an example of it. Oh, at Gatwick. It was Liam. Exactly, if you want a reaction, fly over a police station, not an airport. Like I say, the rumour has it that he sort of was doing it in protest at the new runway and trying to disrupt operations of the new runway and stuff, but I don't know how true that is. And even if that is his reasoning behind it, it's not a justification for it, and it can't be treated any differently. Like, one of the issues that we've got, not just in Ireland, in the UK as well, is this whole reluctance to punish people who break laws whilst protesting. All they have to say now is, oh, it's a protest, and you seem to get away with anything you want to do. Like, let's be real, if my car broke down at the entrance roundabout to Dublin Airport, my car broke down there and blocked the road, I guarantee you now that car would have been towed within minutes. If I said, oh, I phoned the AA, but the AA are busy, they can't get to me for 2 hours, I guarantee you now the guards would have had a tow truck there and had that car removed within a matter of minutes, because it's blocking the entrance and it's disrupting traffic and it's causing traffic mayhem. However, people can stand in a road and block it for hours, and that's fine because they're protesting. We're seeing it with protests at places like in the UK, was it the Dartford crossing, where they tied themselves to the bridge. Now that judge had his head screwed on and gave them massive sentences, several years each. Now there's protests to have their sentence reduced. Like, it's just getting ridiculous, this. And then we have a local neighbourhood group, and there's a member on there with a drone who uses it a lot to help people search for missing pets and helps research, etc. Yeah, like drones. Listen, I'm not against drones. I think drones are an amazing piece of kit, and they have so many uses. Like, I think drones will save lives. They obviously do in the sense of searchers, but I think they will save lives from a policing point of view globally, because if you can put a drone up to monitor, for example, a car chase, a stolen vehicle, a joyride or whatever, if you can put a drone up, that drone is a hell of a lot less visible. It's almost silent. Well, it would be silent when you're in a car, you wouldn't hear it. Therefore, whoever is trying to get away is not put under any pressure. Whereas when they've got a chopper above them, it sort of, one, it puts them under more pressure to get away because they're panicking because they think, how am I going to get away from a chopper? But also it sort of gives them the ego of, oh, I can outrun a chopper here. Whereas if there's a drone up, they can monitor the situation, they can plan strategically, and it will save lives. At the end of the day, it's a difficult call for them to make in terms of police chases and stuff, because ultimately they have to be seen to be policing, but then they have to make that moral judgment of, am I encouraging a chase that is putting lives in danger? I'm all good, aviation lover. How are you, buddy? Carol Zhang, welcome. We do chat about all sorts here at Airports Live TV, don't we? It's quite nice today here at Dublin. It's cloudy, it's overcast, but it is mild. I think this is probably going to be our last departure. I was going to push through till 3 o'clock. It's nearly 2:45. It's been an interesting stream. It's been a difficult stream for me personally. It's tough when we're seeing our views the way they are at the moment. We have to do something about this. I don't know what, but we have to do something. We have to keep on trying, because we need to get those views back. We are struggling a lot at the moment with views. I'm putting it down to the fact that this shot at face value isn't great. Once they're up in the air, I think it's a great shot, but at face value it isn't perfect, and also the time of day. Tomorrow I'm not sure what time we're going to do. We're probably going to do a late afternoon, early evening stream. It certainly won't be a late stream because the boxing's on tomorrow night. Speaking of the boxing, I can't believe Chantel Cameron's took the fight. I don't understand what she's doing. She was building a great career. I don't understand why she's done it. I believe she's taken a bung, but that's my opinion. I've got nothing to base it on other than the fact that there is absolutely no chance on this earth that Eddie Hearn, never mind Katie Taylor, but Eddie Hearn has put Katie Taylor into a situation that there is any chance whatsoever of her losing this fight. She wants the Croke Park fight. It's the first time she's fought in Ireland as a pro. There is no way that he has risked her losing this fight. Chantel Cameron, against any other fighter of Katie Taylor's level, would pose serious questions. Now, I'm not saying that she would beat Katie Taylor, I don't know, but she would pose serious questions. I don't think we're going to see that. I honestly think that Katie Taylor could turn up to that fight, get put down 4 times, never land a shot on Chantal Cameron, and still win it on points. I honestly believe that it is that secure that she is going to win that fight. I don't know why, like I say, Chantal Cameron took it. I don't know why they didn't. Let's look at this in reality. She wants Croke Park. We are going to wait because I can see the Emirates on taxi. She wants the Croke Park, which, look, we all have our own opinions on that, but that's the fight she wants. If she loses, it's going to be difficult for her. So why would you put somebody in who can actually beat her? Like Chantal Cameron, I believe on her day can beat Katie Taylor. Amanda Serrano, for me, beat Katie Taylor. So why would you put her in for that fight? Why not just put her in against a journeywoman? But again, just my opinion. I'm hoping that I'm wrong and this is going to be a real war, because that's what not only she deserves, but it's what Ireland deserves, you know? Nobody wants Katie Taylor to come and fight here and just go through the motions and everybody just look on it and say, yeah, but did she really win? She needs to win convincingly. There is that beautiful Emirates 777 just taxiing into shot now. The Emirates will be the last flight of the live. I lost all my comments there. I've got them back now. Exactly, aviation lover. They shouldn't be allowed to block the roads. A peaceful protest, to me, stops being peaceful when you are blocking the roads. You're blocking ambulances, you're blocking people trying to get to cancer treatment. That, to me, stops it being a peaceful protest. Almost 6k subs, yeah, we're not quite there yet. Here we go, our penultimate departure. Well, I was going to tell you, but our penultimate departure, heading over to Windsor Locks, it's Airbus A321neo, operated by Aer Lingus. Pav Ninja, welcome. You're welcome, Tom Time. Like, what I'm saying is, that if you're driving home from like a dinner in your car, yeah, you'd get fined. If you run out of fuel, they'd fine you, and they'd have your car moved. Yeah, I like the arrivals as well. My issue with arrivals, when we're on 2.8, is the arrival shot is good, but the natural thing for anybody, whether you be a viewer or me broadcasting, the natural thing to do is also try and show a departure shot, because they're directly in front of you, they're lined up and they're directly in front of you. But then the issue we have is it is such a bad departure shot because it's blocked off by that bush. That I think that impacts us, because people don't just focus on, oh, you know what, it's an arrival show, but we might see a little bit of a departure. They sort of focus on, well, that's bad, but we're not seeing a full departure shot, which is just human nature, I guess, isn't it? We want to see it all, but when we're on 10R, it's brilliant. Katie will win, she's tailor-made, Adam, thanks for great. Taylor will win. I'd put everything I own on Taylor winning, in terms of getting the W on her record. Will she win the fight? I don't know, because for me, And the vast majority of people, take patriotism out of it, the vast majority of people struggle to find any valid argument or substance to the fact that she won that Serrano fight. At most she won 3 rounds, if you're generous 4 rounds, but Serrano was the way a better fighter in that fight. She was so unlucky, she got robbed. A draw would have been unfair on Serrano, never mind a loss. And if that fight had been the other way round, and it had been Katie Taylor that was the dominating force, Katie Taylor was the one that was delivering all the damaging blows and winning the majority of rounds, everybody would have said Katie Taylor won that fight. It was because she was the underdog, it was because it was against Katie Taylor. If Serrano had been fighting anybody else, she won that fight. I'm coming off later, as I'm getting the Emirates, I'm coming off. Out of Europe to Vienna, and then it is time for the final flight of Alive. It's going to be that Emirates 777. She's on that taxiway. I do want to thank everybody who's been with us today. I know there's not been that many of you with us this afternoon, but it has been nice to have you all here. We're finally getting somewhere with, just as I say it, I think we've lost a network. I'm not too sure. We seem to finally be getting somewhere with the quality now. Not even the quality, with the connectivity. The quality hasn't been bad. We've just been battered by connectivity. But we do seem to be getting somewhere now. Don't forget, we are away from Wednesday of next week. So we'll be a change of scenery next week. Something I'm looking forward to, freshen the stream up a bit, mix it up for me as well. Whilst we are away though, we will be limited a little bit as to length of streams, because we won't have the power packs for the laptop with us, because we unfortunately can't fly with them. So it is going to be a case of how long the batteries will last. Now, I deliberately haven't plugged the laptop in today so that I could see roughly what we were doing in terms of battery usage. I'll just have a quick look now. We've got about half a battery left, and like, we've been on for an hour and 14 minutes or so. Have we? I don't even know how long we've been live. I can't read it because my laptop's at a funny angle. But here we go, the final flight of the live. Enjoy this one, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, stay blessed, stay safe, enjoy your Friday evening, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world. We've been Airports Live TV. I've been Adam James. Don't forget to check out airportslivetv.com for all of our latest travel blogs and links to all of our partners, booking.com, Travel Supermarket, On the Beach Holidays, and of course more information on our exclusive travel club, where you can save 40% on all of your travel bookings for just £59 membership for the whole year. Here we go, this Emirates is departing. Take care, big love. Absolutely beautiful aircraft. And there she is. I'm out of here. Take care.